Welcome to Indian Immigrant News. Our guest today is Kedar Gupta, a high-tech entrepreneur who had just published his autobiography, Carving My Destiny. He is also the ground zero of solar panels in the world, GT Solar, which he started with his partner with just $1,000 in 1994. And the company, when it went public, was valued at $2.5 billion. On the way with a lot of ups and downs. Today, we are going to talk to him about his entrepreneurial journey from a sleepy town in Eastern UP. Kedar, welcome to our studio.
Thank you so much, Ben.
And
It's such an honor to be here.
excellent. And it's a very exciting, and I'm so glad that we are talking today. I did browse through your book, and what a fascinating story. Before we talk about your journey and lessons learned from the entrepreneurship, etc., I want to start with how does it feel that a young kid who comes from sleeping town of Balia, he starts a business here in the US in New Hampshire, and then has one of the most popular presidents of the United States visit his company in New Hampshire, President Barack Obama. How was that, and how did you feel that?
So, to be very honest, I did not know what it will be feeling like. When I was in Bali, I never ever thought I will meet any president, and that too, president of the USA, and him calling us to come and visit our company. So, it's more than feeling; it's an honor. I cannot describe you how excited I am that it happened. And coming from Balia, and you know Balia.
Sure, I'm a neighboring town, the Devariya, sure.
And their people are not like anywhere, no industries, it is a sleepy town. And, people have very modest way of living. And I came from there to here. But what I really realized it is not where you come from. It is what kind of determination you have in your life and how it grows to become a big thing with time because it feeds you. And that's what happened with me. I came to this country with only $8 like you did and other people did. And in my way of coming here, I lost $3 buying a chocolate. But that's not the story. The story is after coming over here, I started feeling just like I used to help my father. You have to take your destiny in your own hand. You have to do something which beyond your imagination, and if you put your mind to it, you could do it.
So now I want to bring your wife Renu here, and she has been also a very important part of your entrepreneurial journey. And how you describe her role in your destiny?
So very simple. I could not be where I am without Renu. And I'm not saying because she's my wife and one day she will watch this video. It truly, we had the same mindset. We both came from business background and we both wanted to have our own business in this country, controlling our own destiny. And that is something I can never get better than what Renu was.
And also given her background in accounting, I think she really kept you on the balance sheet, right?
Very balanced. Because I will just say how I could be nice to the people. It did not matter whether economically it is feasible or not. And she was the voice, inner voice, Kedar, do it the right way. Make sure that you meet your goals. And she always did. And she taught me a lot of lessons when I was going through some of the toughest time in my company.
Yeah, that's the one thing I wanted to ask you, that what happened when the bank suddenly turned your credit off?
So the bank was being bought by a bigger bank and they were cutting up a lot of companies and we were unfortunate people, although we were doing very well. So they cut our cash line. We did not know what to do. And they were taking us to bankruptcy. And the same day my daughter was getting married was the month it was decided to be pull the plug on us. And Renu was there to work with the investors and they were taking advantage of us in some way or other, and she refused to go along with it. So I had to go to the customer and I told him the truth. This is it is. He liked my product. And he sent $5 million without any conditions.
When you started GT in 1994, you put $500, your partner put $500.
My partner put $450, I put $550.
Oh, $550. Okay, just to have the math.
That's it. Yes.
Excellent. So with $1,000 you start, and then you have this groundbreaking technology. I can say that ground zero for the solar panels, which were only about 4 or 5 companies in the world at that time. They were trying to explore this. And then suddenly your company goes public in 2008.
Yes.
Just before the crash of this.
Just before the biggest financial crash of the US.
Sure. Yes. Exactly. And then, the company after that is evaluated to 2.5 billion or something like that.
In that range, yeah.
Great ending of this story. So now let's go back in the very beginning to Balia. How was your growing up in Balia and what is your family background?
So my father was a businessman and he used to sell clothing to smaller retailers and they will take it. And I used to help him with his invoices, whether they were correct or not, and he used to get about 2% of the errors I used to find. And slowly I started working with the customers. And I found the biggest thing for a businessman people don't understand is the ability to understand the pain point of the customer, not yours. What customer wants, what he must have to do better. Once you could do that, boy, the whole world is yours because then he comes to you. Just to very quickly, when we started $1,000 is nothing. Nobody can ever succeed in the world anywhere. But we had a mantra. Our mantra was customer is the king. And the employees who provide the service to the customer for him to succeed are our partners. And we will go to a customer with only $1,000 and tell him, give us the order because you cannot find anybody better than us. But you have to give us the money. And they did.
Okay. So now, again, I'm going back to your childhood. So you finished your high school intermediate degree from Balia.
Yeah.
And then what happens next to you?
So I went to IIT Kanpur.
That's one of the best IITs.
That is one of the best IITs at that time. But Upendra, I was so scared when I went to IIT. For one very simple, there are a lot of smart people. And not only smart people, they knew the language, English better than I.
But you must have been also very smart. The fact you got into Kanpur IIT is a big deal. So credit goes to you too, sure.
You could say that. I would say I was lucky to be one of them. But I found out you are competing with the best of best. And that was a great gift God can give it to you where you are in the middle of the people who are, you think better than you and you have to compete with them. And
so you finished your study in Kanpur.
Yes.
I don't know how many years that was.
5 years.
5 years.
Because I was too young.
Okay.
I always has to.
How old you were when you joined?
About 19, 20. In that range.
In that range, sure.
And I was younger than most everybody because I had upgraded my early schooling by jumping up and down.
So you finished your IIT, then what happens?
Then I got a full boat scholarship from State University of New York.
In New York, okay.
Right. And although my professor wanted me to wait for Stanford because I had the admission, but not the scholarship, I decided to come to Stony Brook.
Did you have enough money to buy your plane tickets to US?
Barely.
Okay.
With $8. I mean, when I came over here, but this country is pretty good and and kind and caring in that sense. So I did that and I had the full boat.
So that was a turning point for you to leave everything in India and then coming here.
Absolutely. And, like we talked just a few minutes ago, that is the strength of we Indians and the immigrants who come to this country.
Any immigrant from anywhere.
Any immigrant. Because you have lost everything of your life. You lost your parents, your culture, your country, and you back up. You just have to survive. And, when you reach in that stage.
So you come here and what degree you get here?
So I did my master's PhD from State University of New York.
In what subject?
In material science.
Material science. Okay.
Same area like GT Solar time. And then I worked for a company called Monsanto.
Which is a big one, you say.
Big one, very well respected. But there was anxiety under me all the time. I have to start my own. And my wife shared the same anxiety. So we went from a big Monsanto company to a small company called Cincinnati Millicron. They treated me even better than Monsanto, but at the same thing. Then we joined a very small company in New Hampshire, in Nashua, New Hampshire. And that is where my excellence started showing up, because there was no business and I had to turn it around. And I found out the business all over the world is easier than doing the business in the US.
So now, I want to touch base on earlier you talked about the immigrants. And today in this country, the United States, the immigration has become a big political issue, whether you are Biden or whether you are, Trump or, community. It's a big issue a lot of times.
It is.
And if I look at your journey, as you said that you come here with $8, then you start this groundbreaking business in solar panels, and then your valuation goes up. And then you as an immigrant, you have your daughter. Tell us about son and daughter, about their educational background.
So my daughter went to MIT and then Stanford, became a doctor. And she's helping this society more than most people will do.
And what about your son?
And my son is an entrepreneur like me.
Okay. So now, again, so the point I wanted to draw was that, again, you're an immigrant, $8, and then you have to create this company, your son and daughter, well-educated, go to the best schools, and again, changing. So in this context, if you look at the entrepreneur, what is your take on the role of the immigrant entrepreneur? I think that every immigrant is an entrepreneur.
Yes.
But I want to hear you tell.
But my explanation is so simple. We are all immigrants. The America is where it is, not because America has all the people. America has the different kind of people. They are all, one time Germans were immigrants, one time the people from Italy were immigrants, one time the people from Greece were immigrants, now it is Indians, there are Spanish people immigrants. The country's greatness is not because how great we are, it is because how much new blood we bring in, new ideas, people who could take risks and develop industries.
Yeah. Now, I want to come back to this book which you wrote, and how this book came about.
So it was very simple. My daughter was after me, Dad, you need to tell your grandkids what you have done, rather than they take an idea that you are a drug dealer or a marijuana supplier and all kinds of things. How did you succeed? How did you change the world in terms of solar? But how did it happen? You need to write it down somewhere. And my wife was also after me, and she was saying, hey, Kedar, you are forgetting some of the events. So those two people really helped me out. And then I got a very good attitude. And I want to tell every Indian immigrants, if they want to hear my voice, write down what you did, how you carve your destiny. All of us have a story behind our success, and it should be told. And I'm so proud of my daughter and my wife that they forced me, and kind of forced me, and they helped me.
Okay. Now this book is available on Amazon, or
this book is available on Amazon, and all the proceeds are for doing philanthropic things where education can be helped, or other people who are not that fortunate can be helped.
Okay. So again, it's a book about the lessons and entrepreneurial journey. Now, my question to you is, those of our viewers or readers who have not read the book yet, I want you to tell 5 lessons from your life. That these are the 5 mantras of any entrepreneurial journey in the United States or anywhere in the world. So let's start with number 1.
Okay. So before that, I just want to tell you.
Sure.
Everybody warned me when I come to on your TV that he will ask one of the toughest questions.
Okay.
And watch out for it. when it comes. So
this is a simple question. Tougher questions will be later.
Okay. So the first one as a businessman, as an entrepreneur, I learned the only reason you will be successful is if you could make your customer successful.
What?
Very simple.
Sure.
The second one is employees.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot, as one individual, serve 20 customers, 25 or all over the world, unless you have truly dedicated employees. Number two. Third, I always learn, whatever you do, think from the opposite point of view. The person who is on the other side of your fence. Make sure you treat him as you like to be treated. The fourth I learned very quickly, in which most business people in America, because of the culture, don't learn. How much money can you eat if you're successful? Not too much. Because if you're successful, you'll make much more than.
Sure.
So care for other people in the society. And the last one is be part of the public. Be part of the organization.
The society.
The society. Help them if you could. Of course, you have to look at all those things. But end of the day, only the people who are part of the society end up being remembered. Hey, they are successful, but so what? But they did something for them.
So what is success for you?
For me, the success, this is different. For me, the success is whatever product I develop, would it make a difference and change the mankind way of living? And that's what it is. I started 5 companies. Some failed, some did okay, some succeeded beyond any expectations. But the view was, is it going to make an impact in the society or not?
So now, success is a part of also failure.
Yes.
Without failure, there is no success at all. I think they are the, two sides of the same coin.
It is.
So now my question to you is, what does failure mean to you?
So the failure means a rejuvenated efforts for you to learn from it and do something different so that you could correct some of those things. If you, like you said, if there is no failure, you never learn.
You will, sure, absolutely, sure.
And that's what happened with us or with most entrepreneurs. First time, we are not got to know this is what we should be doing. We learn from your failure. You try again, you fail, you try again.
So, if you again, I'm keeping back to from $8 to $2.5 billion valuation with just $1,000 investment. It is impossible that one individual can do by himself or herself. There has to be a lot of factors into it. People, trust, cooperation.
Lucky.
And if you look and luck as well.
Yes.
So my question was going to be actually first on the trust, but let's come back to the luck. How important is the luck? Or does it really have any role in destiny?
It does. And it does in a little bit different way in my thinking. Everybody is lucky. But the lucky are those who look at the situation and take advantage of it. Lot of us give up even before we reach to a point that we could be lucky. When I started the company, I did not think it will be $1 billion company. I thought that, hey, I'm going to change the world because I'm working on solar and nobody knows about solar. So it has to be.
It was very new industry.
It was very new. Everybody used to call us, are you guys orphans? Who is supporting you? And, so fine. But slowly, as we look at the problems, we solved it, we saw the impact of it. And then you get luckier and luckier. Eventually, people depend on you, what technology you have developed. At one stage in life, we have business everywhere in the world. Japan, Korea, Taiwan, China, Europe, US. And we were number one. And not because we were lucky in just, we took the problem, we solved it, and did not make our head bigger and keep on working.
So how does the trust play a role into this?
So the trust is first, you have to have something your customer is attracted to. And then truly, in an honest way, help him out. The trust is earned The trust is not somebody gives it to you.
Mm-hmm.
When I was going through the tough time in the company, I went to my customer in Taiwan and I told him very upfront, my bank has pulled the plug out of me.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are looking for this $15 million order, which he was, I cannot fulfill unless you give me $5 million as advance so that I could start my journey.
And what he did?
After half an hour, 20 people advising him no. His answer was, when would you trust a businessman who comes to me with a good product and tells me he can't fulfill unless I help him?
Oh, what is your take on that? If you look in this whole context, up and down, failure, success, this businessman, what does with you? Do you think it has something destiny has to do with this, or it just happens?
Well, when you succeed, you call it destiny has to do with it. When you don't, then nobody knows about you. Truthfully, between you and I don't want to, I'm not a philosopher, so I don't want to go there.
Okay.
But the more successful you are, the more harder you work, the more people start trusting you.
And why you, since you have been successful and also you have failed several times as well.
Yes.
So why people fail?
I think they gave up too early.
That's a very good point. Sure.
They gave up too early. I mean, always fun. Never ever think that the game is done till the fat lady sings. And we don't wait for that.
Kedar, it has been really a pleasure talking with you, and I really highly recommend. This book is really filled with all these anecdotes and stories, and people are going to get it on Amazon. Now, before I let you go, I want you to have the last word with our viewers and readers about the entrepreneurship and also the persistence that, as you said, that people fail because they do not really persist and continue. So your last word.
So my last word is that I found out entrepreneurship gives you happiness. And some people will laugh at me. What do you mean happiness? Entrepreneurship provides you a way of doing things your own way. And there is no better happiness than that you could call your shots in your own way. If you, every time you look at it, what is happiness? It comes out to be your ability to do the things your own way. A child, if you tell him to do something, is not as happy as you give him some choice to do it and he will do it. So that has been one of the main theme of my entrepreneurship. And I want everybody to try to be an entrepreneur, not because anything else, not because of how much money it brings it to you, but it gives you the happiness that you will feel good that you are controlling the shots.
And now, again, although I believe in action, I believe in all other stuff, but I think you have to be also lucky enough to have a wife like Renu. Otherwise, all the bets are up, right?
There, I did not do anything. It just happened.
That's why I said the luck is, that's where the luck and destiny comes in.
Absolutely.
Okay. Kedar, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.